This metal cover you see is protecting the path to the deepest place on Earth. It's called the road to hell because when you hear what happened during the excavation, you'll understand why they say that. Subtitle by M. K. The person who added the subtitle and leaked the cartoon music to the press. Here's what happened. On May 24th, 1970, efforts to explore the depths of the Earth were initiated to be observed by Soviet scientists. The purpose of this project, initiated after the discovery of that extraordinary pit in the Kola Peninsula, was to find out how the pit was formed and to examine the Earth's crust by going as deep as possible. This was a useful study to shed light on many things, starting with the history of the Earth. But alongside scientific discoveries, legendary events and rumors set this excavation apart from others. There had been a drilling operation in America before, but these stakes were neither talked about nor written about. Over 3,000 shift workers worked throughout the operation. The majority following the excavation included scientists and businessmen as well. The drilling operation started in the early hours of the morning. The planned excavation depth was 15 miles, or as deep as 9.32 miles. America's journey was upward, a journey into space. To explore space, to investigate the depths of space. The Russians also conducted space studies, being the first to send an artificial satellite into space in 1957. But the Soviet Union no longer wanted to explore the depths of space, but the depths of our world, the planet we live on. By exploring underground, information about space in the past could also be found. The excavations had started to yield results, and in 1979, the depth of the Bertha Rogers drilling excavation in America, that is 5.95 miles, had been exceeded. By 1983, they had reached a depth of 7.457 miles. However, as they went deeper, problems began to arise. They took a year off to overcome the hard rocks and made plans during this time. In 1984, the drill machine's claws were shattered. Because they came to an insurmountable area, they returned to the replaceable route point behind, that is 4.35 miles, and determined another route. In 1989, they reached 7.62 miles. At this depth, they encountered a temperature of 180 degrees, which was much higher than expected. The project went direct in 1992. Although these are the facts we know, like every state does, the truly important information is never leaked to the public and is kept hidden. Every substance extracted during the drilling, every discovery was kept as a state secret. In fact, the thing that caused the project to stop after exceeding 12 miles was not a technical issue. As the drilling machine tried to go a bit deeper, it seemed to fall into a void. The drilling bit was spinning in the void. It was as if there was a pit, a void, underground. Thinking that the machine was broken, the engineers started to pull it back. After the drilling tool was removed, a part of the drill bit had incredibly melted. The hot air coming from 7.457 miles deep was clearly noticeable and was coming with strange humming sounds. The measured temperature was an unbelievable 1,200 degrees. They couldn't believe it was real. It was far beyond their estimates. Even the temperature of magma is 2,000 degrees. Yet 1,200 degrees at this depth was unbelievable. Dmitry Azakov, one of the world's leading authorities on the Earth's crust, had this to say on the subject. Suddenly, the drill started spinning like crazy. This was an indication that we had reached a cave or a void. The thermometers were showing an incredible temperature of 1,200 degrees. This was even more than we expected. It was as if there was a hellfire at the center of the world. This also explained why the drilling machine was working as if it had fallen into a void. The scientists wanted to continue while the engineers wanted to end the project. The decision was made to continue. Some alternative solutions had to be produced for this because the machines could not stand there any longer due to the heat. Dr. Azakoff wanted heat-resistant electrical cables and sensitive microphones, with heat shields used in spacecraft were placed at the end of these cables. These were actually not enough and would break down in a short time, but even that short time could allow them to understand what was going on. The cable and the attached microphone were dropped to a depth of over 12,000 meters. After a period of 1 hour and 12 minutes, the bottom was reached. Everyone started listening to the recorded sounds, curious to know what had happened. In the sounds allegedly recorded in NIP, screams and shouts could be heard. Subtitles by Ambrose K. Thanks for adding and interpreting the subtitles. We lowered the microphone, which was designed for this purpose, even further. But instead of the sound of plates, all we heard was the scream of a person in pain. We initially thought the sound was coming from our equipment, but we realized that wasn't the case after conducting tests. Dr. Azakoff wanted to see what was happening there. The cameras and equipment he had were not durable enough to record there. After the necessary permissions, a heat-resistant camera used in space research was sent to him, which is used in military level or space studies. This is when the camera started to be lowered down. It was slowly descending into the depths. During the recording, as it approached the depths, there were some reflections. Figures were seen, and the camera light was found to have problems. Perhaps much more happened that we don't know about. Only Dr. Azakoff and his team watched what was recorded at that time. Immediately after the footage, the government destroyed all documents and evidence about this incident, because scientific atheism was the official state ideology of the Soviet Union. And what happened here could have directed the public towards any religion. Azakoff and his team were warned not to tell or leak what happened to anyone. But this information was leaked by someone or some people from the team, and that's why we are making this video. Now let's get to our main topic. Rumors that the sounds came from hell have been around until today. It was even shared in many places. While many people call it the wisdom or miracle of God, many others chose not to believe. Actually, seeing heaven or hell doesn't seem like something that could happen outside of a dream, in my opinion. Because even if you are a believer, you know that heaven or hell is a place to go or see after death. At this point, I came across a record while doing research on the internet. This was a film made in 1972. Now first I will play you the sound that is said to be heard at the bottom. Now let's open the scene in this movie and listen to the sound. You may hear that the sounds are the same. Some effects have been applied to the first sound, so it's not understood. As you can understand, this is a completely made-up situation. And of course, many parts of the events are true, but these sounds coming from below seem to have been made up to add a bit of mystery. As I said before, don't believe everything you hear or see, research it. Just like the question mark in our logo, always continue to question. I'm Enigma. We have many more mysteries to solve.